Do Filipinos need to be afraid of the Anti-Terrorism Act?
Videos with current events.
Has granted with special powers.
Videos with interesting stories.
Sikorsky S-70
Videos with thrilling facts.
coronavirus.
And entertaining videos. This is MIL Teacher Sir RJ, where you can get your daily dose of reliable information.
Anti-terrorism legislation are laws with the purpose of fighting terrorism that usually follow specific bombings or assassinations. In case of terror attacks, it allows the state to bypass its own legislation when fighting terrorism-related crimes. Because of this suspension of regular procedure, this legislation is sometimes criticized as a form of lois celerates, or what we call villainous laws, which may unjustly repress all kinds of popular protests. Critics often allege that anti-terrorism legislation endangers democracy by creating a state of exception that allows authoritarian style of government. In the Philippines, the law is currently being challenged in the Supreme Court by a group led by Howard Calleja. The De La Salle brothers, led by former Education Secretary Brother Armin Luistro and other civic groups. However, the Philippine President assures the law-abiding citizens that they have nothing to fear and the law is for the communist armed groups who attack civilians and military personnel even during the pandemic.
For the law-abiding citizen of this country, I am addressing you with all sincerity. Huwag ho kayong matakot kung hindi ka terorista. Kung hindi ka naman sisirain mo ang gobyerno, pasabugin mo ang simbahan, pasabugin mo yung public utilities, pasabugin mo yung, just to derail para matumba na tuloy ang bayan.
Terrorism is a crime under the Human Security Act of 2007, which describes such act as causing widespread and extraordinary fear and panic among the populace. The first group to be officially listed as terrorist organization under the law is the Abu Sayyaf on September 10, 2015 by the Basilan Provincial Court. In the period from 2000 to 2007, attacks killed nearly 400 Filipino civilians and injured well over 1,500 more casualties than caused by bombings and other attacks in Indonesia, Morocco, Spain, Turkey, or Britain during the same period. Public transport and other gathering places, such as street markets, have been the favored bombing targets. However, large-scale abductions and shootings have also been carried out by the groups, predominantly by Abu Sayyaf and the Raha Sulaiman movement, two groups that had claimed responsibility for most of the attacks. The Human Security Act of 2007, signed into law by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and effective since July 2007, officially aimed at tackling militants in the southern Philippines. Under the law, 3 days of warrantless detention are authorized, although arresting officers are obliged to immediately inform a judge about the arrest. Furthermore, detained terrorists are entitled to see a lawyer, a priest, a doctor, or family members. The law allows eavesdropping on suspects as well as access to bank accounts for authorities. Convictions could result in 40-year prison sentences, but compensations are provided for in case of miscarriage of justice. Terrorism was defined by Section 3 as sowing and creating a condition of widespread and extraordinary fear and panic among the populace in order to coerce the government to give in to an unlawful demand. The Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020 repeals the Human Security Act of 2007, making changes to some of the provisions as well as the definitions under terrorism. The Act was published by the Senate with the Senate Bill number 1083 on September 30, 2019 and was passed on February 26, 2020. Then, it was also published by the House of Representatives with House Bill number 6875 on May 30, 2020. The law was signed by President Rodrigo Duterte on July 3, 2020, in the midst of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and comes as part of the Philippines' continued fight against terrorism in its borders. Proponents of the law have cited the siege of Marawi in 2017 as well as criminal activities from the Islamic State-linked Abu Sayyaf group, New People's Army, communist rebels, and other supposed emerging threats to peace and public safety. The law took effect on July 18, 2020, 15 days after it was published in the official Gazette. The law also creates a presidentially appointed body, the Anti-Terrorism Council, or the ATC, which would designate the persons who could be arrested as terrorists. An implementing rules and regulations, or IRR, is yet to be drafted within 90 days. The Act defines terrorism as follows. First, engaging in acts intended to cause death or serious bodily injury to any person or endangers a person's life. Engaging in acts intended to cause extensive damage or destruction to a government or public facility, public place, or private property. Engaging in acts intended to cause extensive interference with, damage, or destruction to critical infrastructure. Developing, manufacturing, possessing, acquiring, transporting, supplying, or using weapons, and releasing dangerous substances or causing fire, floods, or explosions when the purpose is to intimidate the general public, create an atmosphere to spread the message of fear, provoke or influence by intimidating the government or any international organization, seriously destabilize or destroy the fundamental political, economic, or social structures in the country, or create a public emergency or seriously undermine public safety. The law allows suspects to be detained without a judicial warrant of arrest for 14 days and can be extended by 10 more days and placed under surveillance for 60 days. That can also be extended by up to 30 days by the police or military. A wrongfully detained person would have to file a suit to the government in order to get any compensation for having been wrongfully accused.
Section 30 of the proposed bill would limit the persons who can have access to a detained terror suspect. Section 16 of SB 1083 seeks to expand the list of persons who may be subjected to surveillance or wiretapping.
On July 15, 2020, at least 45 representatives of the United States Congress have called on the Philippine government to immediately repeal the controversial bill. Nicholas Beckelin, Amnesty International's Asia-Pacific Regional Director, has said upon hearing news of the law being signed, "This law's introduction is the latest example of the country's ever-worsening human rights record. Once again, this shows why the UN should launch a formal investigation into ongoing widespread and systematic violations in the country." The Southeast Asia Office of Greenpeace urged the repeal of the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020 due to its sweeping definition of terrorism, which it said could be abused to stifle dissent. The Washington Post called the bill's enactment as another nail in the coffin of the Philippines' reigning democracy. The diplomat takes aim at dissent, while Al Jazeera notes that the law is poised to cause more terror. Various international artists have expressed dissent against the legislation. On local reactions about the controversial law, on July 2, 2020, the Bangsamoro Parliament passed a resolution urging President Rodrigo Duterte to veto the anti-terrorism bill, arguing that it would lead to abuses and would unfairly target Muslim Filipinos who have historically faced religious discrimination. After the passage of the bill into law, Chief Minister Murad Ebrahim released a statement saying that Bangsamoro Regional Government fully respects President Duterte's decision to sign the bill into law and that it would seek representation in the Anti-Terrorism Council. In response, Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque pointed out that the law does not provide for a council seat for the Bangsamoro Regional Government, although the same law mandates the council to coordinate with the autonomous region's government. During the Philippine Independence Day, more than 1,000 students and human rights activists gathered inside the UP Diliman campus on June 12, 2020, coinciding on the 122nd Independence Day from Spanish colonial rule. They called for the government to junk the proposed bill, stating fears that it would curtail basic human rights and freedom of speech and dissent. Similar demonstrations were held by activists in various cities such as Baguio, Legazpi, and Cebu City. Demonstrations were also held at the other universities such as the De La Salle University in Manila. The National Council of Churches in the Philippines, a fellowship of 10 Philippine Protestant denominations, denounced the bill as a travesty against God's will as it gives the government or even just a few persons in the Anti-Terrorism Council the absolute power that determines what course people's lives will take by putting forward a very vague definition of terrorism. The Philippine Council of Evangelical Churches had likewise expressed reservations about the bill, saying, "We firmly believe that this act imperils the right of Filipinos and sense of dignity which, having its origin in God, our laws are called to uphold and protect." The PCEC specifically cited vague definitions of terrorism and the extended periods of warrantless detention, which opens the way to serious abuses of persons' rights and dignity as reasons for concern. The National Federation of Peasant Women, AMIHAN, have said that the rising cases of red tagging in the country confirm the prevalent criticisms against the controversial legislation. The Association of Major Religious Superiors in the Philippines, which brings together the heads of men and women religious orders in the country, have expressed their dissent against the law, which they say may assault human dignity and human rights. Various Filipino artists have also expressed disappointment and dissent against the signing of the bill. Members of the Filipino art community have also expressed their dissent.
Kung meron pong provision na lalabag sa saligang batas, nandiyan naman po ang ating hukuman para ideklara na kung ano man yung provision na yan ay labag na sa ating saligang batas. Pero naniniwala po ako na dahil alam naman ng Kongreso, lalo na ng Senado kanyang ginagawa, not only is it presumed constitutional, pero it will also pass the tests of constitutional.
Itong mga kalakaran na babanggitin natin ay hindi kasama ito. Ano yun? Advocacy. Protesta. Halimbawa, kung magpuprotesta ka, pupunta sa lansangan, yun isang karapatan yun. Hindi yun terorismo. O kaya, anumang mga pag-exercise mo ng civil and political rights.
So what do you think of the anti-terrorism law signed by President Duterte?
If you like this video, please click subscribe button below and we have more videos for you. Thank you.